Check one. Check one on Spreaker. Are we up? Are we up? I apologize, Spreaker. I'm having some technical difficulties, but we are up and we are rocking now. So let me go and put on the music so I can get done what I need to get done.
Peace, this is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads.
Baby, my computer's running super slow, man.
Let us pray.
My computer's running super slow.
How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, defend the poor and the fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They go upon and go. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, you are God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth. Thou shalt endure all nations.
Alright, family, we are having some serious technical difficulties. What's up, fam? I've been trying to get on for the last 20 minutes.
This is Canal 6, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Abin Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Abin Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Marina with the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This is Willie. Welcome to
Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give a shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation.
Yeah, my sound effect is acting up.
I give a shout out to my dad for raising me and my family for being around me. And I want to give a shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
Alright, somebody on the line. Who out there? Shouts out to Miss Cynthia Johnson. Somebody on the line? Can you hear me? Let me make
This
adjustments.
is Cleveland, and you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Peace, Hotep.
Here we go.
It's Mansour Hotep, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity doesn't sound good. I think it
Shouts
sounds
out to
great.
Miss Priya
Right now,
Gaucher.
you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
I can't tell if the person online can hear me or
If
not.
you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name. This is what I'm coming at you live, and you
Okay.
are
I think
now
I know what's
listening
wrong.
to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. Peace.
No, hold on. There we go. Check it. Somebody on the line? We up now. I should be able to hear you. Come in. Can you hear me? Okay, we got the cameras working. Oh.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve it. This is Brother Hatim coming at you.
All right.
Live.
One more time.
You are now listening to the Gye-Nyame.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Radio.
Can you hear me out there?
Shouts out to Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. You are now listening.
Well, the lines are open, family.
Journey. Radio. Peace.
Why isn't Spreaker? Are you using the camera on the computer to go live?
This is Kenny.
No, I'm using my phone to go live. But what I'm about to do is I'm about to go take this off real quick and do this.
Peace.
I had enough. This fuckery going on. Messing with my signal. I don't know what's going on. But it's all good, family. Listen, it's been a busy day. We've been training all day. Brother Hatim has made it. I've been on my computer for the last 30 minutes. Cleve been gaming all day. And my computer is not responding. Man, them games, man. Damn them games. Damn them games. Oh, Lord, damn them games. You know, my son is like, he into the games, too. Okay, cool. So now this should allow me on. I should be able to. All right, so now, lines are open.
Being recorded by the organizer.
There we go. Finally, somebody is on the line. Who's on the line? That look like a familiar number. That look like one of the family members I haven't seen in a while. But and a lot of times she just listen in. So I want everybody to know that the lines are open. The line is open. Hit us up at 614-556-4535. Bow. All right. Let's go to the Hootsuite. I want those people on Hootsuite or those that's on Facebook. I want y'all to know that we are live. And you can join us live in the conversation. You never know how your wisdom will affect. But I really need somebody to kind of say something so that I know that you are on. Right? Without any doubt. I need to know that you are here. So, you know how we do it here. All right.
I'm on, but I'm driving.
I know. I kind of figured that. I was hoping that. Shouts out to Miss Tiandra. You know, and like I said, family, we got to keep the energy out there because we still waiting for her book and she's still working on it. So we're going to give her all the positive energy that she needs because we're looking forward to your creation and I'm looking forward to sharing it and even have you on to talk about it a little bit more and talk about the next step because we're moving rapidly towards another Kwanzaa. All right. Shouts out to Miss Cynthia Johnson once again. Shouts out to Miss Bria Gaucher. Shouts out, of course, to the Black Yoda, Brother Kwame. You know what I'm saying? We are here live, and we got a story tonight, family. Call in. Line is open. 614-556-4535. Now, I want y'all to listen closely because my children are supposed to be in the bed, but if you listen closely, you can hear them imitating me, right? You know they're going to get in trouble for it. But what they see us do, they do. So we got to be very careful about the things that we pick up, right? You know, I'm struggling with that sometimes. All right, family. So before we even get into the show, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are in the web Renpet. We are going to be doing the opening. We are going to be doing 3 rituals tomorrow. 3 rituals tomorrow. The first one will take place at 6:35 a.m. The sun rising ritual, swinging bridge. We're gonna be doing the show live. So I'm gonna have to. So the show is gonna be late tomorrow, later than usual, a lot later than usual. We're gonna do the ritual at about 6:35. I'm going to go out and set up on site, and we're going to broadcast while we're out there doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have my Daily Toaster shirt on. All those Daily Toasters that want to come out and be on the show. We're gonna be doing it out there live. I'm thinking around 7 a.m. and then right after that, I'm leaving and going to my adventure. So me and my kids are gonna have to be up early. If I call in, can I hear the show somehow? Yeah, you'll be able to hear the show. If you call in, you'll be able to hear the show. You could just put it on mute, and you can still listen to the show and be walking around with your phone if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just open the lines because, like I said, family, you never know how your wisdom will affect somebody else. The second part of the ritual will take place at 12 noon at the Kwanzaa Playground. We like to call it the Kwanzaa Park. And then the last part of the ritual will take place at about 8:38 or 20:38, which is 8 p.m., 8:38 p.m., evening sun ritual. And it will be at Franklin Park outside facing the west. So around that big body of water down there, you're going to be around there, look for us. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to recognize us. So, family, come on out, support, and let's do what we do, right? Let's do what we do. You know what I'm saying? We're stabilizing our culture. We're stabilizing what we're doing, and we're adding the rituals. We're adding the ceremonies so that we can solidify our sacred space in time, right? Everybody else is solidifying their sacred space in time. Everybody else is circling their wagons, and we're slowly but surely moving in that direction, right? So, family, I want to welcome you first off to the Congregation of the Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Thank you for being on point, Anime. This is a Heart of December production. And of course, you know we are on Folktales for Grown Folks. And we're going to be doing some wisdom mining. And of course, you know this is a Heart of December production. But we strive to blow up your old paradigm. And tonight, paradigms will be blown up. Right? Tonight, paradigms will be shifted. Tonight, paradigms will be rocked. Tonight, paradigms will be shattered. Right? Because once again, we're coming with a folk tale for grown folks. Now, one of the things that I have done, and I got to look this one up, but for each one of the folk tales, from Aesop Fables, for each one of these folk tales, we have not only posted them up on Gye-Nyame Journey, not on the site, you know. We have taken these folk tales and we have divided them by the principle that they represent. So, you on a Moja day and you want a principle for that day, or you want a folktale for that day, guess what? Right here. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is look it up. Boom. You type in Moja. Boom. Spreadsheet pop up. Print folktale for the day. All you gotta do is pick one. So now what I gotta do, I gotta find me somebody that's skilled with computers, that's skilled with this technology, so that we can start having random folktales pop up on the proper day. So we have folktales for all 7 principles. We got them for all 7 Millennium 7. But basically, We got it for each day of the Nguzo Saba, for each principle, we have them. So people can constantly be focusing. Because family, like I said, the key piece about us claiming our time, right, is being able to direct our focus, right? The world wants you to focus on all the stuff that they got going on. This is what the news is for. The news, it informs you, but also it directs your attention in the direction that others want your attention directed. Those of you that get up with me in the Daily Toast, usually you probably haven't digested any media yet, so we get up, and one of the things I ask you to do is to activate your reticular formation and start looking for the principle of the day. Today is Kuji Chakalia. The question that we each need to be asking, we kind of need to remind each other, did you see? Did you run into Kuji Chakalia? Did you witness Kuji Chakalia? Did you take a picture of it? Did you post it up? You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much fuckery being posted up that I think that as a family, as a tribe in the making, right? As a village, right? As a group of tribes coming together to form a village, we could at least invest time in identifying our principles on a daily basis, seeing it in our actions, seeing it in other people's actions, being able to identify it, leaving the house hunting for our principles because we have already set our agenda. We ain't allow nobody else to set our agenda. NBC is not going to set our agenda. CNN is not going to set our agenda. You know what I'm saying? MSNBC or whatever they name, they're not going to set our agenda. We set our agenda because on those days we are looking for those principles, and what that does, that empowers us, right? One of the blessings that I have, that I was born under Kuji Chakalia. Each of you were born up under one of these principles, and if you start analyzing your life, you'll be able to start seeing the patterns of this principle being activated. You see it. You'll be able to look back in your past and see this principle. You'll see all the principles, but you'll especially see this one activated in your life. Kuji Chakalia has been a major part of who I have become. Being able to define and redefine myself. Being able to define and redefine things around me. Being able to define and have other people agree with the definitions and start using it. Self-determination, family. You know what I'm saying? To be able, because the key piece that come out of that definition, that principle for me, is the ability to define for yourself. Define for ourselves. Right? So when we start practicing this whole Gye-Nyame thing, because people be like, well, why are you doing push-ups? Even when nobody there know why I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing push-ups because I had to use the other day name. Or I forgot and I used it. It's most of the time when I forget. When we have the code switch, there's no penalty for that. Right? In your profession, you know what I'm saying? You making your money, everybody out there is not going to understand your language. So you got to learn, you of course you got to go back into your English. But when we are together, family, you know what I'm saying? And we're talking and we like, shit, next Kuji Chakalia, we gonna go fishing. Right? It ain't that other word, because we're taking command. We're taking command. Right? We're claiming the days, and we're claiming the time, and we're claiming other things. Like a lot of y'all, we see, I don't have my because I took my toaster shirt downstairs so that it could be washed. You know what I'm saying? So I can have it ready for tomorrow, because I'm stepping out tomorrow in my daily toaster shirt up under the work gear. So during the rituals, I could be able to just take it off and come out fresh and so clean. You know what I'm saying? Representing our stuff, representing our culture. Daily Toast is part of our culture. Daily Toasters is part of our culture. We need people to be looking at our stuff, talking about, what is hashtag Daily Toaster? Let me look that up. Go and type in hashtag Daily Toasters and watch what pops up. That's us. We own that. Right? We own that. Our family owns that. That's a piece of our territory, because before we can actually get out here and start grabbing the physical land territory, we got to start grabbing the mental territory. I'm listening to a new book called Barracoons, and it's I think it's an unreleased book by Zora Neale Hurston, and it's about what they call the last slave cargo. A brother was alive when Zora Neale Hurston was doing her thing, and she went down and she interviewed this guy. But the issue with the book was that questions kind of arose about whether she plagiarized the book. I'm listening to the beginning, and they're trying to speculate on why she felt that she had to plagiarize. And there's a whole bunch of things, but one of the key things that popped up, and I posted it up on the Gye-Nyame Journey timeline, is that some people speculate that she may have felt dissatisfied with the way she had to do research. She may have felt that she couldn't dismantle Master's house with Master's tools. Now, I know a lot of us like, yeah, if we got a hammer, we could dismantle a house. But I think the tools that she's talking about are those mental tools. Many of us think that when we elevate in their coursework, I mean, because we even see it right now within our community, right, within our collective. You know what I'm saying? Individuals believe because they are doctors, you know what I'm saying, or believe because they are they have attained the trappings, right, of the other society, that it means something. In a sense, it shows that you have some dedication and you have some work. But if you are not supplementing that, and if you have not spent as much time in discovering yourself, because some people spend more time getting their doctorate than they do discovering themselves, and part of discovering themselves is discovering their gene pool and tracing their gene pool back to where it was, and looking at some of the cultural norms and morals and principles that guided us, you know what I'm saying, prior to us running into some of these West Asians, and even some of them while we was trapped in this West Asians, up under their West Asian control. And the question that Zora Neale Hurston may have been asking, and this is not, this is just speculation, she may have been asking is, can I really use these tools to deconstruct this spell that has been put on the minds of my people? And we have to ask ourselves that. Can we use the tools, Master's tools, to free ourselves? Do we need to hone some other tools? In a sense, that's what we do here, right? We honing our tools. We're honing different tools. You know what I'm saying? We're confusing people. They ain't coochie chocolate. They don't know what the hell that is. They don't know when that is. You know what I'm saying? They guessing, right? We're constructing our own mental tools. We're putting together our own folk tales. We're putting together our own myths. We're elevating our own legends. Every morning, I don't even know if y'all realize it, but every morning when we start chanting our ancestors' names, we are elevating them to the legend, to the level of legends, which is a very powerful thing, family. It's a very, very powerful thing, because many of us we kind of satisfied with our ancestors being forgotten, but I always got to remind you that hell for African is being forgotten. So it brings me great pleasure every morning to get up and to recite your ancestors' names, and to recite my ancestors' names, because I want them to know, because they still exist. I want them to know that they haven't been forgotten. I want them to know that we are preparing ourselves to take back what is ours. And we're going to start with our minds. But somebody just joined us on the line. What's going on? Who is this?
This is Shaka.
What's up, brother Shaka? How you doing tonight?
I am blessed. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just sipping on some of this green tea mixing. So, I'm
okay.
Who else? Somebody else on the line?
Yeah.
Somebody else on the line?
Nah, not yet, man. Not yet, but dig this, man. it was about 5,000 people that was live just now, and I invited them to come on the line. So if you get some people just streaming in, they coming from that other network, you know. Okay. Just want to shout out to that. I mean, you know, just the people on that network across the world who are really down for the movement. And today, yesterday, over the past 72 hours, they've been really showing me how, you know, people have, I told you about the cryptocurrency piece, you know, people have really just taken their whole bank and threw it in my account so that I'd have enough to be able to start cashing out money to get that retainer piece going on. And beyond that, there's a sister who is a pretty strong businesswoman down south. And she's talking about, like, you know, bringing my event, Symbiotic Cypher, down there to 3 different cities. And, you know, I got on her live today, and every time I go on her live, she puts me in a box. I mean, you know, she's definitely one of those paradigm shifters where, you know, she'll come on, you know, as some straight up eye candy, but at the end of the day, you know, she'll show how, you know, she got a yacht, she got all the things that, you know, all these men talking about they got, but it's like, yo, you know, I do this because, you know, I'm educated and blase skip when it comes down to it. I take care of business, and I just need to roll with people that's taking care of business. So today, she put me on the live. She asked me to bless the live with some spiritual words and spiritual song. And, you know, I brought her whole live into a movement. She had about 3,000 people on there this morning. It must have been about 7 o'clock in the morning. She was going to take a run, or however she was doing. And she told me, like, look, I'm gonna show y'all right now. This is how down I am with Shaka. She's like, what's your cash app? You know what I mean? Right. And so, you know, yeah. So we got people out there like that. You know, I just had to invite them over to the show. And so, like I say, you know, if we got some newcomers coming in, just to let you know, like, it's getting really thick out here.
We about to get into this folktale, man, because like I said, my son was on my computer gaming, and you know, I mean, he like building them worlds and stuff, and it's slowing down my computer. But hey, we up, we live. I'm able to hear everybody, so I'm no longer mad. But once again, family, we got the sun, we got the wet Ren Pet tomorrow at 6:35 a.m. sun rising at the Swinging Bridge, and of course the show will be late. We'll probably be airing about 7 a.m. 7 a.m. on Ujima morning. So, you know, like I said, some of y'all be able to sleep in. And we're going to get up. We're going to do it. I mean, most of y'all probably getting up, handling y'all business anyway. But we're going to be out there live. Anybody want to come out, it's going to be at the Swinging Bridge over at Wolf Park off of Nelson Road, right by the Recreation Center over there. So feel free to come out and join us in welcoming in the new year on the committed calendar. All right, so let me see.
Hey, before I forget, man.
Go ahead.
Before I forget, I just had to do away with three of my full-grown scobies, man. I don't know what it was that caused it, but it was definitely the mold happening. There's one part of the, I don't know. Anyway, I have to get rid of them. So FYI, when I come down there, I'm gonna be looking to replace them if you still got it.
Do I still got it? What are you talking about? I'm the pusher, man. I got scobies. You know what I'm saying? I keep on trying to tell folks, family, listen, you want to start brewing, y'all need to get with Brother Hatem. All right, y'all know my water's kind of cloudy because I just got done drinking some tea. I will have some ambrosia soon. I have to mix up Brother Kwame's Kwame mix. You know what I'm saying? Now, Kwame, the only thing, I'm going to try to get it tomorrow. But I wasn't able to get the proper black seed. I got black seed, but it's not the one that you're used to. So I don't want to put that in there. So I'm going to hold off. I have to go somewhere and find the black seed. And burdock root, the actual root. Now, I can get the extracts and shit, but I actually want the root. It's kind of hard for me to get. I don't know. I'm going to stores, man, and the actual root people don't have on hand. right? And like I said, and if I have to go out and find it, this batch you gonna have to wait for the next two batches because I gotta let that dry out. But actually, I could put it in the.
Yo, Hatem,
what's up?
What would you rather deal with, black seed or the black seed oil?
I'd rather deal with the for the drink, I would rather deal with the black seed because the oil leaves a funny film in your mouth, and we don't want that on. You know what I'm saying? That would have to be something that we would talk to people about. You don't want to introduce them to that. And Kwame has started with the black seed. So so basically, the black seed oil is the crushed seed where they extract the oil out of those little seeds. So you need all these seeds to get a certain amount of oil. My piece is, why not just actually go straight to the seed? You know what I'm saying? You know, because black seed oil, and don't get me wrong, it's effective. But what Kwame is doing in his mix is he's building up the black seed in his body by consuming the ambrosia with the black seed in it. And it's actually extracting, you know what I'm saying, that the process, the fermentation process is extracting some of the qualities, some of the health qualities, and making them available to his body. Now, black seed oil is effective too.
I'm asking because I went to this international market, man, and I spent my $35 on this 10 thing of black seed oil, and I can't stand it, man. I can't tolerate it.
Well, I mean,
I can't tolerate it.
It has other uses. So look at some of the other uses other than just drinking it. I mean, shit.
Oh yeah, they said massage and all of that.
Right. You ain't just gotta use it for that. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, most oils, when you take them, you know, it's not, you know, olive oil is not the best taste. I mean, it's not something that if I had, you know, what would you like to drink? Can I have some olive oil, please? I mean, shit, I can't think of an oil that is, you know what I'm saying? But the healing that people report. Now, the issue is that a lot of people have issues with, some people have issues with oil, but in the African, in the African heritage diet, you know what I'm saying, going back, you know what I'm saying, we used oils, you know what I'm saying, it was hard to come by, but we used oils, like, you know, some, like, people be like, don't use the palm oil, but the palm oil is African based. That's something that we use. And then on top of that, if you look at all the beta carotene that's in, is orange because of the beta carotene. So it has the same effects and even more effects than carrots do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we have to decide on how we're gonna use it. So at Gye-Nyame Journey, we talk about a little bit of everything, right? Because Shaka is a brewer, I'm a fermenter, and we work with this June. We work with kombucha. He calls his red June. I call mine's ambrosia, but it's the same family because the scobies come from the scobies are ours. You know what I'm saying? And we're able to produce, and we're able to demonstrate and show people how to do it. Now, one of the things that will be coming up here in Columbus is I am going to do a workshop. And in the workshop, what I will provide is because those that want ambrosia on tap, right? I will show you how to have ambrosia on tap, and I will have all the stuff there for you that you can get. Actually, if people are interested in it, we gonna get that together, right? So,
hey, Hatem,
go ahead.
So dig it. Let's talk about that before you book it, because that the workshop part is what I've already written into the Symbiotic Cipher, which is a performance event that teaches everybody in the room how to do what you're talking about. So that can be your role within the Symbiotic Cipher, and I can come in, you know, and introduce what I do and my product as well. But it's like it's a flip on a wine tasting event with the jazz. All right, so we have the performance aspect. All right, in every city we go to, we would take our performers and cipher with the locals there, while giving them the and that's the event that I want to be able to take down south to those three cities. So I'm gonna need to talk to you anyways, because if you're willing to tour with me, then it's starting to happen right now. Like, my contract is up here in Cleveland, and I got time to be on the road. Pharaoh's homeschooled, so anywhere I'm at, he at school. You know what I mean? So it's just FYI. We can book it at a on a different level. But if you're just doing something local and things like that, I don't know. You want to try it out in Columbus first, because even still that we have our flock there. There's a bunch of newcomers that I'm dealing with just off the strength of this other network, and I'm interested in seeing them show up.
Yeah. Hey, now the only issue is because of my adventure and my commitment, I will have to do some weekends and possibly on some vacation periods when the children are out, because I'm fully committed to what I'm doing up here with these young people, because what I'm saying, everything that I'm doing falls flat if I die and don't leave those behind me that know how to do it. That's why I don't mind my kids imitate me. That's why what I'm saying, I'm pushing kids to get out here in these guards and trying to pass on these skills. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. I'm interested in any way in spreading the word. But like I said, I wish we did this like in June, dog, because. But hey.
I mean, you know what? Look. This, if we do it, if we plan right now, all of us will be eating by next summer, because I'm saying that right now. This is all I'm focused on, is booking the Symbiotic Cipher and getting out and establishing national relationships. Getting out and, renewing my passport, getting Pharaoh his, and getting ready to make a move. I'm telling you something, man. It's and I gotta ask, I gotta talk to my nation builders about this a little bit, but and we're gonna get to the thing, but I'm gonna just put it out there. It's a possibility that Baba Shaka then found some love across the waters that's willing to come over here and really commit to the movement. So I ain't talking about from the Philippines and nothing like that. I'm talking about we'll talk about it, but let's get back to the talk.
Right, here we go. So now it's time for these folk tales, family. It's time for the folk tales. Y'all know what's up. Classes in session. Let's get it. All right, the name of the folk tale for the day is The Trees Under the Protection of the Gods. The trees under the protection of the gods. Get your thinking caps all ready, because it's about to go down. The gods, according to the ancient legend, made choice of certain trees to be under their special protection. Jupiter chose the oak, Venus the myrtle, Apollo the laurel, Sibyl the pine, and Hercules the poplar. Minerva, wondering why they had preferred trees not yielding fruit, inquired the reason for their choice. Jupiter replied, "It is lest we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit." But said Minerva, "Let anyone say what he will, the olive is more dear to me on account of its fruit." Then said Jupiter, "My daughter, you are rightly called wise, for unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is vain." I got to pull on my thinking hairs for that. Family.
Yo, can I
hit it?
Okay, go ahead.
Hit it. No, hit it.
All right. Well, it's the same way as I regard money, huh, Tim? Money, people obsess over the power of money. And where I stand is money is only a byproduct of what it is that we dream of, and let alone our own survivalhood. We're not eating money. We're not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Money is a byproduct. It's a byproduct. So when you glorify the money as the fruit, then you can starve spiritually, you can starve in many ways without having the real fruit, which is what causes us sustainability.
All right. Did somebody just hang up or somebody back on? Is there somebody else on the line? I think somebody just hung up. Let's see what's going on here. Cause we about to get into this. Hold on here, family. Let me make sure we got it. So you're saying you're comparing the trees to the fruit. Oh, my fault. You're comparing the trees to money, or are you comparing the fruit to money?
No, the fruit is definitely not the money in this analogy.
Okay. So
fruit is the fruit. The tree is the money.
Okay.
Like, you understand? So it's like when they say, okay, maybe, okay, I want to make sure I'm not getting.
I'll read it for you. I'll read it for you one more time and read it for the people out there so they can see your analogy, because I see where you're going, or at least I assume I see where you're going. The gods, according to an ancient legend, made choice of certain trees to be under their special protection. Jupiter chose the oak, Venus the myrtle, Apollo the laurel, Cybele the pine, and Hercules the poplar. Minerva, wondering why they had preferred trees not yielding fruit, inquired the reason for their choice. Jupiter replied, "It is lest we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit." But said Minerva, "Let anyone say what he will, the olive is more dear to me on account of its fruit." Then said Jupiter, "My daughter, you are rightly called wise, for unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is vain." The glory of it is vain. Powerful.
Yeah.
And you're saying, what I'm hearing, let me just kind of repeat or cabbage patch on what you say. You're saying that the money is the tree, and people are enamored by the tree.
So what I was saying, I think it's summed up in that last thing that Jupiter said. That's the way that I received that. And what I'm trying to, now hearing it the second time, I'm trying to figure out why the non-fruit bearing trees, it's the same thing that the daughter said. Why put these non-fruit bearing trees under your protection? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What it came down to is the fact. What's all this extra noise? Can you mute that, Hatim?
Yeah, I just did. Go ahead.
Okay. So the piece is that he's saying that, the fruit has no value to us. Why protect this from the humans when that's their sustenance? For us to protect this, the fruit, as in, we are conserving these fruits, as in we are saving the lives of the fruit from the humans. Why would we do that? It would be in vain. Because then, what is it? Because without the fruit, there would be no humanity in the sense. And so, in doing so, what makes these trees that we protected from it? You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep, but
Right. I mean, but that's what the show is for us to work, for us to sharpen our swords. So now,
right?
Because now what you did, for me, the end is what blows up the whole damn thing, right? So Minerva asked a question. The question Minerva asked, because they described all these trees, and Minerva, wondering why they had preferred trees not yielding fruit, inquired the reason for the choice. Jupiter replies, it is lest we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit. Right? So let me unmute her. Maybe it's quiet. Okay, cool. Lady J, you cool now?
I'm cool.
Okay, cool. All right. So I don't know if you heard the whole story, so I'm gonna read the story over again for you. Is that cool, or you heard it?
Please read it over again for me.
The name of
Hey, Lady J.
Hello.
The name of the story is The Trees Under the Protection of the Gods. The gods, according to an ancient legend, made choice of certain trees to be under their special protection. Jupiter chose the oak, Venus the myrtle, Apollo the laurel, Cybele the pine, and Hercules the poplar. Minerva, wondering why they had preferred trees not yielding fruit, inquired the reason for their choice. Jupiter replied, "It is lest we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit." But said Minerva, "Let anyone say what they will, the olive is more dear to me on account of its fruit." Then said Jupiter, "My daughter, you are rightly called wise, for unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is in vain." You get it?
Yes.
All right, now, Brother Kwame says, combine the truth of what Zeus says with the insight of Minerva, and the wisdom of all that is said will be made evident. That's that math. He added and subtracted and then multiplied and came up with something. Thank you, Black Yoda. Miss Cynthia Johnson says, perhaps the gods wish for humans to benefit as a gift or blessing. And then she also say, or maybe I'm misinterpreting the story. Well,
no, she's saying the same thing I'm saying. I believe that's the way I'm thinking. What Cynthia Johnson's saying.
She said,
that if
go ahead,
because he used the word covet. Why covet the fruit? So he's saying, why take this away from humanity when humanity will flourish with it? Well, so the thing that we're trying to protect, which is life, it would be in vain if it cost life.
Well, all right, cool. I hear you on that. So Minerva, wondering why they had preferred trees not yielding fruit, inquired the reason for the choice. Jupiter replied, "It is lest we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit." So it's almost for me, what I'm hearing is he's saying, why should we covet the trees for the fruit? It's more like, what I'm saying, it's not because of the fruit that we're picking these trees. You understand what I'm saying? So the fruit for them wasn't important. It's the tree itself. It's not what the tree produces. And for me, that's what, when Minerva made her statement, that's what kind of threw Zeus back. Because it's like, we just like the trees. You know what I'm saying? So if we listen to what he said at the end, see, because the whole piece is about production. The whole piece is about bringing value. What Minerva said was, but said Minerva, let anyone say what they will, the olive is more dear to me on account of its fruit. Then said Jupiter, my daughter, you are rightly called wise. And this is it. For unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is vain. So when he says, for me, what I'm hearing is, for unless we do what is useful, now he's comparing himself. Now he's comparing you. Now he's comparing others, not just the gods, but everybody. Unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is in vain. And it's like a lot of times, many of us, we glorify things that aren't producing shit. They're empty. Right? So all the trees that the gods had didn't produce anything but the leaves. It's still producing something, and some form of animal is eating possibly the leaves and stuff like that. But the issue is, what is it far as this story, the most important thing is the fruit. Why? Because the fruit, like you said, sustains humanity. And since the story is made for humanity, it's basically saying, if it does not benefit humanity, if it does not benefit others' lives, You know what I'm saying? Why should, you know what I'm saying? Why, if it's not servicing, why value it? And the question that came to me is why covet, why make something sacred that has no purpose, that produces nothing? Now, Brother Kwame come back and said, when it's understood why each God chose his particular tree, it becomes more clear. Now, which brings up a whole nother piece, because when we look, he said, excuse me, I have to take a call. Okay. Kwame asked the question, or makes the statement, when it's understood why each God chose his particular tree, it becomes more clear. So we will have to go a little bit into the history. Now, part of the issue with the gods choosing the trees was because if you go back into ancient history, and even, into ancient history in all cultures, the deities always, in all, I ain't gonna say all cultures, but in a lot of cultures that I have studied, always has sacred trees and sacred forests. Why? Because it was within the forest that a lot of stuff happened. It was within the forest, and it was the forest that kept the culture alive. It was the forest that allowed, in the sense, in the forest, if the people destroyed the forest, the people destroyed themselves. Of course, you need woods to build a house, but when you start just destroying the whole damn forest, you know what I'm saying, and just clearing it out, because even in African tradition, you would have certain trees that weren't allowed to be cut down. It would be certain woods that weren't allowed to be touched. Why? Because of course the spirits protected them. But it was more about, if the people destroyed the total forest, the people would die. So of course they used the deities to protect the trees. But I think the bottom line for this one is, why make something sacred that produces nothing? And for me, the story is deeper. Of course, it's deeper than just the trees. It's talking about usefulness. Brother Kwame, I was thinking that as well. Do they have an affinity for specific? Yes, all of the deities have an affinity for specific trees. But that's all that, you know what I'm saying? But you have to go all into that. But this story is less about the trees and more about the usefulness. All right? So, because he says in the end, my daughter, you are rightly called wise, for unless what we do is useful, unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is vain. How many of us got people in our lives, got things in our lives that are not useful? How many of us got habits that aren't useful? How many of us own things that aren't useful? Unless what we do is useful. And as individuals, how many of us are doing things that are truly useful, especially to our people? But yet we elevate them. Oh, you got a good job. You working for them. You making $100,000 a year. You got your doctorates. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Boom, boom, boom. But the question is, what is the fruit that they're producing? Is it useful? Are we elevating them in vain? How many empty people, how many empty degrees, how many empty skills do we have floating in our community? What's the usefulness? See, because at one point in time, everybody had to be useful to the village. Everybody had to be useful to the tribe. Everybody had to bring something. So I'm measuring. So back in the day, they measured a tree. I mean, for human beings, we would measure trees by their usefulness. You know what I'm saying? All right, the other trees, they could get wood, but I love the olive tree for its fruit. I love the olive tree for what it produces. I don't have to cut down the olive tree. I can go to the olive tree and I could pick something that is not only useful to me as a deity, but it's also useful for those people that serve me. So, if you compare yourself to the tree, are you a fruit tree or are you a laurel? Are you a poplar? And I got issues with Hercules because if that's his tree, we got beef. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all know what the poplar is famous for. We got an unknown caller from California. How are you doing? Welcome to the call. Brother Kwame, all those trees were used to produce one thing of use, but Minerva stressed the usefulness of the olive to her. It oiled her shield, the one lent to Perseus to slay Medusa, right? But also the olive tree not only produced the oil, people ate olives. People survived off the olives. The olive has, in a lot of our literature, has come across as a major piece of sustenance. Yeah, it produced the oil that oiled her shield, but it also produced the food that made it possible for Perseus to have enough strength to fight Medusa. It produced the food that gave Perseus' mama the ability to give birth to him. So its usefulness, its usefulness went beyond just being there. You know what I'm saying? And it's because I'm thinking that it's less about the trees and more about, because one of the things that Aesop did was that to get a lesson across, and in a lot of our folk tales here, we had to do the same thing. In order to get people's ego out the way, we had to use things outside ourselves to tell. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you a little story. It's about stealing, even though I know you're a thief. But you won't get as offended if I make a funny story about a rabbit stealing from the fox and the ill effects that it had. You know what I'm saying? You could take it and you could open up and listen, because I caught you because I'm talking about a rabbit and a fox. I'm not directly talking about you. And I don't want us to get caught up in not realizing the symbol. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing that the tree is a stand-in. The gods had favorites. Let's just take the tree out. The gods, according to the ancient legend, made choice of certain things under their special protection. Jupiter chose such and such. Venus chose X. Apollo chose Y. Sybil the letter Z. Hercules the letter H. Minerva, wondering why they had preferred such things, not yielding any benefit, any fruit, required the reason for their choice. Jupiter replied, it is less we should seem to covet the honor for fruit. So it's almost like we just like the damn trees because we like the trees. I like the PhD just because I like the PhD. I got the masters just to get the masters. Hell with service. Hell with producing fruit. I just like it because. I got the car just because I like the car.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's up?
You know what that reminds me of? Hold on. It reminds me of people who encourage their children to go into professions only for pay that yield no fruit. They don't. So I'm thinking about nation building. I'm thinking about those professions which we know we need people who look like us. But yet when our children say that they want to go into those professions which will yield fruit, which is required for nation building, which is required for infrastructure, which is required for us to have, once again, infrastructure, we discourage them. I.e., I want to be a politician. Yield fruit. But we say no, they're all liars. I.e., I want to be a police officer, and you say no, they're pigs. I.e., I want to be a teacher. No, you can't be a teacher. They make no money.
They broke.
All of these professions, and I could keep going, yield fruit. And more importantly, it yields the fruit that is going to be necessary for change. If there is to be a revolution, you must have people within those positions.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead. Who that?
It's Shaka.
Why are you calling me from California? Damn, that was quick. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So listen, man. You know, and this is regarding what Lady J was just saying. You know, I myself, when I grew up, you know, of course, my dad escaped my grandfather by going to the military, coming from the military and being a steel inspector and working on all these. I mean, that's what he knows. He knows labor, right? Mm-hmm. He even knew that, you know, my grandfather worked a lot harder than he ever really wanted to work. But he knew that was a part of survivalhood because that's the virtue that he got from my grandfather. And yet still, he, you know, there was something about his upbringing that that was not savory to him. So when it came to his parenting to me, he pushed me into labor. He pushed me into a workforce ideology, even though at a very young age I was gifted and passionate about my music. You know, when I was singing in a choir, he had no qualm about it, right? But when I talk, when people came over to the house when I was 14 to sign me onto a record deal, which he had no understanding of, he pushed them away, and in doing so, hindered a lot of my advancement as you know, as a recording artist. But then, you know, even still, I pushed and pushed and pushed and auditioned myself. He would not take me to the Cleveland School of the Arts. I had to audition to get in there myself. And by the time I actually made it there, I did not live with my father anymore. So he had no, you know, and in a sense, I feel like he had taken it to heart, the fact that, you know, I was so willing to. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was so willing to prove him wrong, and it wasn't the fact that I wanted to prove him wrong. It's just that this music lives in me. It's a part of me, right? So I'm not going to turn my back on it because of what you want, especially if what you want from me is to do as you're doing, and it's not necessarily making you happy. It's not necessarily fulfilling your life, right? His job took him out on a road, which caused which caused our family to dissipate into nothingness. All right, and that is, you know, and all parents are your teachers. You know what I mean? They can teach you to do one of two things, and what's that? What to do, or what not to do. All right. So the way I'm bringing Pharaoh up is on a totally different wavelength. Is what my father brought me up on. And it's a totally different wavelength from what my grandfather brought him up on. But I see more of my grandfather in my ways than I do my father, in the sense that, you know, my father, I feel, it's hard to explain, the sentiment behind this whole story right here. That I'm telling the personal one. I'm telling to you all now. Go ahead.
And that's family. This family talk. I mean, and like nobody outside of us really know who we are. But these stories are designed to make us go inside and explore. It is designed to cause us to argue and to bring up things like Sister Cynthia says, when you bring degrees into the story, that goes back to Brother Shaka's point about the money. In a society, degrees often, the higher degree, the higher rate of pay. Brother Kwame, Black Yoda says, it is not the case that that they chose the trees just for the tree itself. They had reasons for choosing the tree. Minerva reminds them there was a reason that they chose the tree. But Jupiter forgot this simple fact, and so he commended his daughter for including the most important point, which was stressing the usefulness of the tree for the respective gods. So in the choosing of the trees, there was something forgotten. And what I feel Kwame is saying is, which is a pertinent lesson, because for each one of these gods, each one of these trees had a special use. You know what I'm saying? So in sacrifices, you know what I'm saying? So
when you look at it, even in Apocalypto, in the movie Apocalypto, remember in the beginning when they had the captures and they were walking through, and that one huge tree almost fell on what do you call him? The father, you know who I'm talking about, huh, Tim?
I ain't seen
the leader.
Okay. I ain't seen Apocalypto in so long, but go ahead. I just remember running.
And he turned around in arrogance like, yo, I'm walking here. You know what I mean? But the piece is that when you look at those trees, I imagine they were not fruit-bearing, but they had other uses.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine the trees that they were chopping down were used to build vessels. You know what I mean? Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. I just heard somebody open my screen door. I might have to go. Y'all might have to come get me out of jail. You know? So, it's all good. It's all good. So, but yeah, Kwame raised a good point. She reminds them that there was some usefulness for which they chose it. Because she spoke on why she chose the olive tree. Right? So let's go back. Let's relook at it from Kwame's point. The gods, according to the ancient legend, made choice of certain trees to be under the special protection. Jupiter chose the oak, Venus the myrtle, Apollo the laurel, Cybele the pine, and Hercules the poplar. Minerva, wondering why they had preferred trees not yielding fruit, inquired the reason for their choice. Jupiter replied, "It is lest we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit." But said Minerva, "Let anyone say what he will, the olive is more dear to me on account of its fruit." Then said Jupiter, "My daughter, you are rightly called wise, for unless what we do is useful, the glory of it is vain." What we do. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, because she asked them. I mean, she was wondering why didn't they choose a tree without fruit, and he said, "It is less we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit." Do many of us cover the honor rather than the fruit? Stand your ground, brother. I ain't going back. I'm standing my ground because I'm pausing when I read it again, brother. But I will admit when somebody make a good point, you made a good point. But I don't think she reminded them of the usefulness of all those other trees. Her argument was, why did y'all pick trees without fruits? I don't understand. Please explain. And Zeus says, it is lest we should seem, it is because we should seem to covet the honor for the fruit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, boom, we don't want to claim honor for the fruit. We want to claim the tree for the tree. We don't want to claim the tree. We want to claim the tree for the tree. We don't want to claim the tree for the fruit that it produces. It's almost like in the answer, he like, we almost claiming the trees because it don't produce no fruit. We pick these trees because they don't produce fruit. And she said, I don't care what nobody says. Lest anyone say what he will. I don't care what nobody say. The olive is more dear to me on account of its fruit. So everybody else is looking past the fruit. She's looking at the fruit, the production, the usability. Now, all these trees are usable without a shadow of a doubt. We know that you could cut down a poplar tree and make something out of it. Shock is a carpenter. There's different types of wood that you go to places and you get. And some woods are better than other woods. And other parts of trees are used for other things. But one of the most and the first use they're human beings who, in a sense, created the gods. And I know some of y'all gonna get mad at me for saying that. The first use for trees, for human beings, at least those was walking, was eating fruit. Trees provided us with fruit to help us survive. We might have been able to find shade somewhere else. We might have been able to find safety somewhere else. But trees provided us a use, and that major use was food. So she want to know why y'all pick these trees without no damn fruit. Which is a question we might need to ask people. Why did you pick that tree with no fruit? And Lady J was talking about careers and shit. Why you pick that tree, career, that bears no fruit? Help me understand. You know, I mean, because, I mean, these folk tales bring up conversations that we need to have with people. Why are you doing what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Please explain the fruit of what you're doing. What's the fruit? And Shaka, I think, you know, your father didn't see the fruit of music. You understand what I'm saying? And so he pushed you into a certain direction. And a lot of us, the passions that we have, people didn't see the fruit. Like I constantly talk about, well, damn, I was always interested in philosophy and being able to have discussions like this. But because my elders and people around me didn't see the fruit in that shit, you know, because the first question I ask you, what you do? What you go to school for? I'll go into school for philosophy. Can't make no money being no goddamn, this nigga's a philosopher. Then I have to go to every Thanksgiving and be fighting, arguing.
Hey, and also, I mean, check this out. And I don't know how viable this statement is, but let's say, you know, back even when I was at Ohio State, you know what I mean? If you had somebody that was like, if you had a male that was going to school, you know, for medicine, but only to be a nurse and not a doctor. So it's like, man, you get laughed at for some, I don't, you know, I get it, but then I don't get it. I think that's just kind of our ways. Oh, this dude gonna be a nurse. You know what I mean? But the thing is that a nurse is vital in community. You know what I mean? You can go to school for architect and you know, you want to say, yeah, I'm a civil engineer and all of this, but you know, it's not guaranteed that you're going to build the relationships to really thrive as a civil engineer. What happens when that doesn't work out? What do you have to fall back on? What else can you use those skills for? You know, if you don't end up with a firm, you know what I mean? And these are the things that, you know, I'm just speculating a little bit.
No, I mean, but that,
you know what I mean?
Those are the questions. Those are the legitimate questions that people have that are genuinely concerned about you, because as black folks for so long, we had to do practical things that produced for others and not necessarily produced for ourselves. So we didn't have the luxury of being able to be. I mean, my grandmother couldn't, and I couldn't be mad at her for not seeing. You know what I'm saying? If I was talking about philosophy, I needed to get in the church, because at least a pastor would make a little bit of money. But a philosopher? Are you serious? Black studies? The hell you gonna do with that? And it's like, so we bend and we move into fields that's gonna produce money, or we move into fields that we don't love because of money, rather than pursuing possibly what we came down here to do. Sister Cynthia says, the presence and opportunity to have dialogue and learn the usefulness of something you see no value in. Right? And it's like, a lot of us, like, even though you can make a lot of money as an engineer, a lot of us pursued those degrees, even though we didn't see any value coming out of it other than money. Uh-oh, my battery low. Hey, Cleveland, Gina. Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Gina. Somebody else up. Oh, that's you again? What are you going trying to? Gina! Come hither.
He said hither.
That's from reading all these folk tales, man.
Man, that's from watching too much Game of Thrones.
Well, Sasha, come hither. Come here. All right. So my battery going low, so I'm gonna give me that charge cord over there. Hurry up. You supposed to be asleep. Not that one, the other one. Bring them both here. All right, cool. So we're going to be able to keep on going because last time, this is not my cord. Don't you hate when people be trying to play switcheroo on your ass like you ain't going to know what's going on? For real? I mean, I'm like, for real? I'm not going to notice that this is not my charge cord? This is not the charge. Hey, Gina, ask your mama where my real life here, Gye-Nyame. Where my charge cord? This is not my charge cord. All right, so family, I'm gonna have to call it a night. But we had a great, Go and laugh it up. Go and laugh it up till somebody grab your cord. This is not my damn cord. Okay, all right, that's what I thought. Y'all see the? Yeah, I know. Y'all see the difference? I want y'all to see the difference. I want y'all to see this. Look at this. Look, hold on. Here's one cord. Look at that. Y'all see that? Here's my cord. Y'all see how long that is? It took me about 5 minutes to. You see that? Somebody trying to pull an old switcheroo on me, the banana in the tailpipe trick. You can't get me with that twice. Right? I'm like, damn, what's going on here? All right, so let me put this on so it won't blank out on us. Lady J, you awful quiet tonight. What's going on your side of the world?
I'm listening.
Okay. All right, family. So, now, all right, cool. We plugged in. We got gas. We got some fuel. Let me scoot this over so that it won't lean like that. Cool. All right, so any other comments on this? Any more comments on this folktale? All right, Brother Kwame say all trees are part of an ecosystem. Jupiter was saying that the fruit was not as important as their choosing. It is not to say that fruit-bearing trees were less than. They clearly had their unique use for the tree that was chosen. It was not that they did not use olive. Kwame, stop acting like you talking to Zeus over at your house, man. Like you called. I just called Zeus.
Hey, Hatem.
I just called Zeus, and Zeus just told me to tell that nigga that all trees are good. There's an ecosystem. I just messing around. But go ahead.
Hey, Hatem.
What's up?
See, here's the thing, too, man. It's those maples that really cause the Amish society to thrive. They've been able to tap into the sap and create a whole, they make
industry.
Candy, they make
a
whole industry.
Right. A whole industry.
And then, they make the best furniture, man.
Right. After they cut those trees down. I'm listen. And I don't think Minerva was knocking the usefulness of the well, she might have, you know what I'm saying? Because she might have been a smart ass. She might have been the one rebellion. Hey, y'all choose trees without fruit. I'm gonna choose the one with fruit, and I'm gonna prove why the fruit trees are more important. But homeboy couldn't get rid of the wisdom of what she said, and the piece is, I just don't. My issue is we understand the usefulness of trees, but the question that I have to ask and I have to wrestle with when we doing this, what is the message directly for us, and how can we apply it to our community? Because I know all trees are important, but what was the point that Aesop was trying to get across from this? I grew up on Greek. And me too, Yoda. Come on, man. Me too. But you ain't over there talking to Zeus on the phone. I know you got connections. But we know. Well, hold on. Hello? Zeus? Who this? Zeus? Oh, you are talking to Kwame? Oh, okay. All right. 1,000 pardons. I'm sorry. All right, Kwame, it was just affirmed. So Kwame got some insider information on us. And it's obvious that, Jupiter said that he did say this about the trees. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, family. The whole piece is and then on top of that, don't stop at our arguments. Don't stop at our discussion. This is not what this is not. This is we have enough drones. We have enough people walking around our community informed by other people's mouths. Look at the story for yourself. That's why we call it folk tales for grown folks. And grown folks, we discuss. Grown folks, we talk. Grown folks, we might even argue. Grown folks, we disagree. You understand what I'm saying? Because it allows us to sharpen our swords. It allows us to also get to see how other people within our tribe think. And it also allows us to start aligning our minds. Aligning. You know what I'm saying? Because it's beautiful. Because I want you to understand this. The beauty of diversity is that diversity ensures that the tribe survives. I want you to understand that. That is the beauty of humanity. It's our diversity. One of the things that helped us survive is our diversity. Why? Because we can move to any environment and figure out how to survive. This shit. I mean, we seeing it right now. We seeing it right now today. Outside is changing what we do. We come up with ways to grow food inside. We figure out what we have always been able to adopt. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is power in our diversity and in the different ways that we think. And we could disagree without being disagreeable. We can debate and we can argue without getting disrespectful and attacking each other's being. We can grow from the conversation, because when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to think about this conversation that we're having, right? And I'm going to grow, and in the morning, I might even have a whole different perspective. Brother Kwame said, recall that Homer told you that the Greek gods would come and hang out with us. Hey, you 100% right. You 100% right. They sure did. You know what I'm saying? They used to go and chill with their people up in Ethiopia or Kush. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you right. You know what I'm saying? And and that's some information that some of y'all don't know. This Homer actually said this. You can find it in the books. All you gotta do is take time to read and do the research. But the point I'm trying to make is that when we disagree, right, it's a form of warriorship. What is a warrior? A warrior is one who is experienced or involved in conflict. Which means that when I come into conflict with your mind and you come into conflict with my mind, we could walk away and we could laugh about it. But now I got a new dent in my sword that I have to sit up here and I have to try to grind out. Which means I have to do some work with my sword, which means I have to either improve my argument or I have to do some more research or I have to do some more thinking. And a lot of us, we are not used to thinking. We're used to it being told to us, and we are just supposed to believe, and we don't do that in Gye-Nyame. We don't do that in Gye-Nyame. I will never ask you just to believe some shit. You need to get out and you need to do the work, because your single thought that might be different than everybody else may be the thought that moves our tribe to the next level. Might be the single thought that might find the chink in the armor of our enemy.
You know,
well, go ahead.
And that also comes down to the one piece that I teach, the way that I teach my son, in allowing him to express himself honestly, that's one of the big things that Bruce Lee has always. I got a half dozen donuts. All right, yeah.
Why y'all up?
Why
y'all back down here?
What's that?
Real life here, Gye-Nyame. I'm talking about. Get out.
No.
Put it up and go upstairs. And you ain't gonna be drinking water in your bed. I already told y'all that. Ain't no eating upstairs.
All right, go ahead.
Did I ask you for a comment? Yours is not the reason why. Yours is to do or you going to die. Go upstairs. One of what? No, I just said ain't no eating up there. You better not bite it. Put it down. Take your butt to bed. Matter of fact, give it to me. I'm going to eat it. Good night.
Yeah, but mine
all right. More different. I'm sorry. Real life here, Gye-Nyame family. Real life here, Gye-Nyame. It get crazy. But hey, listen. It's time for bed. I gotta get up. I gotta get up and be at this ritual in the morning. So I'm gonna go and call it a night. I gotta go and put my shirt in the dryer as well. Family, we will be hooking up later on tomorrow. So don't be expecting the text to come at the regular time. It's gonna be about an hour and a half late because I will be gathering with some of the family and we will be toasting. I will have my shirt on, and if you got a shirt, come on and bring it out. I want to thank you. Damn, this plum is juicy. Come on out. Join us come on out. Join us for the Teddy Toast. I want to thank everybody that participated. But before we go, of course, we got to have closing words from our peoples. And you can type in some closing words. I will read them. Who want to go first? So who going first?
Are you ready? You want me to go first?
You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. My message really never changes.
So you don't want to say it?
We're in the midst of the great. Hello?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted the people to know my message really never changes. I just want to remind everyone that we are in the midst of the great awakening. It's time for us to rise and it's time for us to shine. I'm asking everyone to do something every day in support of the movement. Read a book, article, donate to a cause, volunteer your time, indoor services. Use your social media platforms to enlighten, to inform, and to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Stop sharing foolishness. Stop promoting those negative images, those false portrayals of people of color. I'm asking that you participate in boycotts. I'm asking that you protest. I'm asking that you sign petitions. I'm asking that you march, and I'm reminding you that, the more change you keep in your pocket, the more change we will have. I said that wrong. If you want change, you got to keep more change in your pocket. But I just also want to just go back to what we discussed earlier and just remind people that we need to get in a nation-building state of mind. We need to think infrastructure. We need to think building. And we need to think about those professions, those industries where our people are most needed. And then we need to help groom our children, encourage our children, deliver their gifts, and let them see what skills they have that would suit them for those positions where we need them, so that they will bear fruit and leave legacy. And that's it.
Bravo. And then she hung up. Go ahead, Shaka.
She just hung up just like that?
She just hung up. I guess she feels she dropped the mic. Ain't that something? Go ahead. Good job, though. Well, she's back now.
I hope she's still listening in. Okay, it's my turn, Hatem.
Go ahead.
I apologize. I didn't mean to hang up, you guys.
Whatever.
That was me dropping the mic, though.
I know that. That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
Well. Hey. While you're still on, while you're back on, I want to listen to something because I'm really soliciting your energy outside of this platform and into the platform that I dwell in. A lot more nowadays because I feel like your voice will be well received, and I feel like right now, especially since I have, kind of stepped into this clandestine fundraising effort, I really need to bring some formality to that, and I think that you are the link for me to be able to create a catcher's mitt. All right, right now I almost lost, today because I didn't have my my Cash App user ID on tap. I probably missed out on a lot of money when people were really inspired to push in. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that type of uniformity, hey, I want you to understand that, yeah, I have my hands on territory right now. It's got my name on it. And right now, it's such a substantial territory that I got to fight people away who are trying to steal it from me because of the value in it. And that's the whole piece to what I got out of this whole piece. See, people outside of it, all they see is the equity in that building, and that's all they see. They don't see the fruit of what's going to come into it once we plant our flag. So I'm saying that, not only is it because of what we're doing, but because of what the world is doing around us. Cleveland is the East Coast Hollywood right now. There are movies, Disney and Marvel movies, that are booked up until 2030 here. And I'm saying that I have a site for one of the 5 big sound stages on the east side of Cleveland that can be commissioned for some of those types of works even. So if we don't get that, it's not that we don't get it. It's just the fact that that's the vision that we need to let people see, is that right now, Cleveland Clinic is financing 4 major sound stages so that they can produce movies here. Mine could be the 5th. And I'm saying that all we have to do to move into that level is fight for what we already got. So fight for the right to, not the right, but fight to be able to plant our seeds and to be able to nurture them, to be able to show the rest of the world from where we stand what it is that we're capable of doing in small numbers. So, if you like to, to accept the nomination, you got my information, sis. I need you. So that's my piece.
All right, family. I want to thank you for joining us on Gye-Nyame Journey. I see CeeLo is on here. Happy birthday, CeeLo.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, girl.
We'll do the rest later on.
Right. But, hey, I'll see y'all in the morning. We will be tuning in late. Remember, Daily Toast will be happening later because I'm going to a ritual. I'm going to participate in the ritual, and then we'll do it after that live from the Swinging Bridge at Wolf Park about somewhere around 7 o'clock. This is Brother Hotel, and I am out. Peace out, family.
Peace.
Peace out, Facebook. And peace out, Spreaker.